Good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing? It is 8:28, 9:28 Eastern time, and the morning is about to kick off. We got about a little less than 2 minutes before the market opens. As everybody knows, jobs data, big swing and a miss. 235,000 jobs added, as opposed to 735 expected. So big swing and a miss. How's everybody doing? Let's see how the market is going to go. We popped up a little bit, and now SPY is Tank City. We're down to 452.48 after popping out to 454.43. That's almost a $2 move in pre-market hours. So let's see what the market's gonna bring. I'm gonna be looking at September 7th options. That's gonna give me a 4-day DTE. We've got a long weekend. Take that into account as you're making your trades and your plans. 3-day weekend here in the United States. Market will be closed on Monday, so don't be going hold anything overnight and letting the Theta monster snatch you up. Today I have the largest profit ever. How's that? Market's not even open yet. Big red candle here, 452.15 and dropping. And still dropping. 451.94, 451.92, 451, I'm sorry, and dropping. Looks cray-cray. Market is about to open in 5 seconds. Let's get this baby started. VIX right now is 16.17. Bonds sold off, but are starting to recoup a touch. What are the futures doing right now? And my trading view. All right, there we go. Big green candle here on the futures and the SPY, 452.55. That's 50-cent candle right there. Holy smokes. Market is now open. I'm looking at the September 7th contracts, the deltas right now. Let's see, 0.56. Man, the deltas are pretty high on those things. Let's look at the implied volatility, 6.2, 6.7%, so still kind of low, which is fine by me for now. Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Your market's already closed. Nicely done. Nicely done. Good job today. So big gap down here in pre-market. We're up to 452.65. The Qs are starting to bounce up 380 and 19 and 20. VIX is hovering around 16, 17 right now. The Treasury yields are pretty much flat this morning. Bonds right now are down big from 149.72 to 148.19. It's about $1.50. And red candles start the morning off. Nasdaq's big green after a little sell-off. Same thing with the futures. SPY is bouncing up slightly here. XLK is up. Financial sector was up, then down, and now back up again. Cray abounds. XLY gap down with a green candle buy here. XLB is up. All right. Good morning. Today is Friday, Friday. Let's try to make a good trade here. Cap the week off with a nice healthy win. Had 2 wins yesterday, 1 loss, 3 wins before that. So it's been a pretty dang good week. Very profitable week. Try to finish the week off with a bang, make a little money. Enjoy the nice long weekend. Doing a little grilling with the family. Enjoying the nice little cool weather. If you hear some birds chirping in the background, it's because I got my windows open. It's a nice cool 60 degrees this morning. It feels fantastic. A little break from this nice summer heat that we've had. All right, so this candle is not too much volatility yet, at least in the trading hours. SPY about had this big green candle there. It's not much moving here. We have this volume node right here. I'm going to switch this back to gray. I switched it yesterday to highlight something, and I still left it on pink. I'm going to go back to nice gray. There we go. All right, it's a little red candle. Big green candle on the VIX up to 1669. XLF is climbing. Bonds are flat after a big drop here in pre-market. Yeah, I got to post the watch list here, but yeah, I'm looking at September 7th. Nice, Dave. Yeah, E-Trade. I've never used Fidelity, but E-Trade's always been very good and very easy to use for me. So, highly recommend it. So, we're going to go with, let's see. $45.35s and the 45.20s. 45.35, 45.20s. Updated watch list, and then we're going to go with I'm going to check a look at SPY, see what SPY is doing. Nice, 454s and the 451s, which are already up there. Good deal. All right, so red, green right now with the SPY. Bonds are starting to increase just a touch. XLF is still trading flat here. I'm on the 3-minute chart. Nasdaq starting to trend downward, as well as the futures. So right below my first support, we got this volume node here that's acted as a good support here for a while. And we're still bouncing off. Look at this. It's still the same level of support we've been at there for a few days now. So here, so bounced off here, just above it here, there, there. All in this little area, we've got orders that are just supporting this up. If we break this level, we should see some good downside, this 452 level. And that's really what I'm going to be focusing on. I'm going to put a line here just as an indicator. And we're going to color this, I don't know, nice. Let's color this something different. How about a nice pink? No, it blends in too much. We need something, blue's fine, and we're going to make it a 4-pointer. So if it breaks that, I'm going to look for some downside and take some puts on a downswing. It'll be a quick play, at least to start out with, and I'll be on my toes if I take it. So we'll see if we break that. Market, look at my watch list. Market is bright red. Actually, you all can't see it, can you? No, you can't. Yeah, so bright red across the market. All of FANG is red. All of my watch list is red. We're now coming down. We're 451.87 and breaking this support now. SPX. Switching back to the SPX here. 45.15s. 45.20s. All right, you know what? I'm going with the 4500s. I'm going to stick with the 4500s, not the 4520s. Puts, that is, puts. I mean, we'll all see. I mean, that's right now there's a big question mark now because we just missed jobs added, which there's a lot of different theories into why we missed those jobs. But all I know is that if you drive down the street of near my neighborhood, every single business, store, and corporation has a hiring sign out front. So you tell me what that means. So we'll see how that translates into data going into September. I know we are kind of touching these all-time highs here over and over again. Especially after this, we've had a lot of selling volume, which indicates that we've been getting this gap up, buy up in pre-market in like first few minutes of the day, and then a gradual sell-off through the rest of the day. That's been happening the last 3 or 4 days. That's why you get that red on the 1-year chart. You've got those red candles with incrementally higher candle legs. So that's why. All right, so 452.17. And we're kind of holding right now. Everything is bright red on there. Nasdaq is starting to climb. XLF is down, and bonds are starting to increase here. The bonds are the name of the game. That's the key to unlock everything here. So we'll see how this money flows in and out of the market as, see if we're going to go risk on or off going into this long weekend with bad job data. On SPY, I got what did I post there? 451s? Yeah, 451 puts and 4,500 on SPX. VIX spiking 1688. XLK is starting to climb. All the other X's are down. Let's see. XLY is down. XLB is down with a green candle there. XLV selling off. XLE is trading pretty flat. 10-year yields now are up to 1.325. It's an increase of 2.32% from yesterday. SPY's got this green candle. Which ticker are bonds? TLT or the bonds? TLT. That's right. You're right, Rick. But not everybody can trade SPX, so I post both of them. So 452.31, we're right at this volume node, so we're stuck on the support. And right now at this volume resistance right now, we'll see if we can pop through that or we drop back down. Either way, I'll be ready. XLF is back and forth. Everything seems to be temporarily recuperating at the moment. VIX has fallen off up here at 1701, which is our first pivot that I identified yesterday. Yeah, everything is bright red. All the X's are down at least 0.25% to a full point. Nasdaq is down 0.07. Futures are down 0.2. SPY is down 0.2. We're here, right? We got this volume node that we're trying to fall off of. Looking at the 1 year, we're still in this little upward trendy consolidation phase. You've got this candle here, which is still, the body of the candle is still within yesterday's range. So we'll see how this closes. If this closes down below the prior day's close down here, we could start to see some bearish sentiment possibly. So we'll see. It all depends on the volume. The selling volume has started to decrease over the past few days. But this little buy up here right now, the buyers do have majority, but it is early. It's only been 15 minutes till the market's open here. So we'll see how the day plays out, and we'll start forming our thesis into the next week as we get into the later halves of the day here. All right, so we're rejecting this volume resistance coming down. We've got this down here, which that line's not perfect right there, but that's just a good visual aid of where we've been bouncing the past 3 days. Yeah, I stopped paying too much attention to the 10 years, the yields, because they were a big point of interest back in like late winter, early spring. Everyone's like, oh, the yields are 1.75, 1.69. It was even the end of the world. And then people stopped caring about them. Like the yields kept going up and people stopped caring about them. And then it got to the point where it would go up and the market would go up. Even though back in the wintertime, when the yields went up, it was the Armageddon and the markets tanked. So I stopped paying attention to it because it seemed to be the media played on it when they wanted to and didn't when they didn't. So it was just to me a noise. So I stopped paying too much attention to the yields. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good point of information to follow. But I don't put very much weight on it anymore. You know, back when the yields were like 0.59, 0.65, 0.7, stuff like that, then you would have a big divergence. So like when it went up, the markets would tank and it would bright red. And everyone's like, oh, it's the yields. The sky is falling. And then like a week and two later, it went up again. And it's like the market went up. So it's like, all right, you're full of it. Okay, yeah, spread on SPX can cost you more than commissions. That's right. That's one of the downsides of SPX is that the spreads are a little wider than SPY. So it gets a little worse fills. You got to be on your game. But there's an argument pro and for. The bottom line is If you can afford to trade SPX, most of the time it's better to trade SPX. If you can't, then trade SPY. It's just as good. It's all relative, you know. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. If you've only got a $5,000 account, maybe you can't afford to trade SPX. So, I mean, we've had this conversation till we're blue in the face. I made a video on it, SPY versus SPX, so people can reference it, so we don't have to talk about it over and over and over again. So I highly encourage you. It's in the educational channel. Take a look at it. It goes over the pros and cons for each. Which one you can decide for yourself which one you'd like to trade. I know for E-Trade right now, hold on a second, we got some red candles coming down. 451.90. Let's see if we can break this little support. And I've got my finger on the put button right now. 750 September 7th, 4,500 puts. So VIX is still maintaining the 1686 level. Three-minute chart right now, it's below the 8 on the 5-minute chart. We are wicking out here. Got these little resistor type candles right below the 8 EMA on the 5-minute chart. Yeah, dude, it's in the watch list. If you go under the OM calls puts, you'll see them in the watch list. Qs are starting to climb, decreasing selling volume, albeit nice and strong. That candle right there has got 80,000 right there. VIX is still hovering up here on the 5-minute. Going to the 3-minute. Bonds are still falling off here. XLF is still climbing. Does this 452 support hold on the SPY? Yeah, it is. I just updated from what it was yesterday. It's on there, though. And the OM calls puts, it's updated. Nice, Alex. Well done. Here, I will update it. There we go. I'll just copy and delete it so it shows us today instead of yesterday. I feel you. I feel you. All right, so green candle popped back up to the 8 EMA and is wicking out, still maintaining right down here. I'm curious where this thing is going to go. A lot of red. There's a lot of red on my watch list here, which is, that's a pretty strong market sentiment here. And that green candle gets sold off. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, thanks for him. It's good. I'd rather y'all say something than not say something, so no worries. All right, here we go. Test number 2 of this 452 level, 451.76, and it's popping to the downside. All right, here, XLK, that was a big green candle too, and it got sold off. That green candle was up here, and boom, got sold off. Follow on red, looking bearish. Show. Yes, it does, Lil B. Yes, it does. All right, so XLF is big sell-off there. XLB is sold off. XLV has been selling off with a small green at the end there. TLT is still trading flat. What's it going to do? Nasdaq, and the futures right there. Nice Formo, bro. Was that a little 9%er, 8 or 9%er? Oof. All right, there's XLF still falling. SPY is 451.68. Nasdaq's turning red. This thing is looking super bearish. Super bearish. Yeah, so if we come back up and test that 8, we'll look at, yeah, I mean, we missed by 500 plus thousand. It's a big miss. That's a big miss. Hey, thanks for Mo, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, welcome to the new channel. No, I don't trust TradingView to handle my trades like that. I know you can connect them, but yeah, I just never do. I like having manual control over it. All right, so we're back up. Nasdaq is trading back and forth here. Pretty decent sell-off here in XLF with a small green candle, low volume. Five-minute chart. Big sell volume on the 5-minute with a small green forming. We're at this volume node here on the 5. Squeeze momentum is firing to the downside. Sellers are definitely taking over from here. We're trying to hover right here. This green candle is getting wicked out. We're starting to hold on for dear life right there. VIX is still up 1698. If we pop this, we got a long way to go. Upper 17s if we continue to climb. We're right here at 1698, which is a good pivot from the VIX. Couldn't tell you. Never tried it, Rick. Couldn't tell you. Little green coming back up. Sorry about that. Trying to do a little technical stuff on the background. All right, so SPY is starting to bounce back up into the middle of the range as the Nasdaq is raging right now. So the Qs are raging, Nasdaq's raging, SPY is climbing 452.25. What's up, Michael? How you doing? Look at that, big green candles on the Q right now. Bam! Look at that. Nasdaq is just raging right now. VIX is falling off hard. SPY's coming up. They turned it on, hit that supply zone, and they're just turning it on. So, wow. What's up, Andy? How you doing? So back up to the top of the range after bouncing off this support. Q is just a double massive green candle on huge buying volume. VIX is falling off. SPY's at the top of the range. We've got 5 minutes. The ranges are set. We've got 452.80, 451.80, 55. And we're down 950 on these. I've got up the September 7th 45.35 calls, currently trading for 980. In the event that this continues to climb. XLF is getting destroyed. XLF is still down hard. The bonds are down as well, not as strong as XLF though. All the X sectors are still very much down. XLV, Y, B is getting destroyed. So careful on this. XLE, V, E, F, all down big time. Tech sector is the only thing up here that could be just a buy up there. Tempted to short this spike. Especially we're at the 21 right now, red candle. We're at the top of the range. All of these sectors are very heavy. XLF is getting roasted right now. Tempted to short this. Put another smile on your face. It's all right, Lil B. We're almost there. Through the volume node coming up to the 21 on the 5-minute chart. Yeah, but right now, there's a lot of weakness right now in the markets. All the sectors are down hard. Bonds are trading flat at the moment. They're in a range where right now they're insignificant. The only thing beast mode is tech right now, which could make for a little pop in the futures and SPY right here, but it can't withstand this much weakness. Unless these all turn around, it can't withstand this much weakness. Eventually, it'll pop back down. Big giant green candles on Qs. Look at that. SPY is top of the range. Now popping new range. It's 9:04. We've got a minute until this thing sets. Coming up to the 34 on the 5-minute chart. We're currently at 452.85. We are just above yesterday's afternoon range. Coming up right at the 34 after a significant bounce off of these little lows. So Bs are still down. XLF is still down. Maybe trying to form a base. TOT is still trading flat after that big downside in pre-market. Ranges are set. Ranges are set. We got 452.90 to 451.55. That's a what $1.35 range. It's a pretty decent range. So, all right, now we're pinned up here right underneath the 34. 452.67. We're pinned right up at the top after nice strong bullish action. Double red candles here. Nasdaq triple green, triple red. This thing's bouncing around here. So Nasdaq's starting to come down. Futures are still right here. Not too much movement back and forth. Nasdaq's down, a little green candle here. VIX is still hovering. XLK. XLF is rebounding pretty significantly. All the other sectors have a little bit of green coming into them. Bonds are still at the bottom of their range, but relatively flat. Ooh. Bought up. So we got the 821 crossover at the top of the range here. If this thing punctures through, do we go trend again? So straight line bullish ever since the 954 candle. And straight up, we got this little red here, but definitely climbing back up. Top of the range is 452.91. XLF is now climbing. after a lot of bearish action in the morning. He ain't going to say nothing. He ain't going to say nothing. He's just going to stay up there and jabber. Do you have a good video or post in the Discord that goes into detail on how you set up your charts? Yes, I do. The latest video I've got in the educational series on my YouTube channel, I go over how I set up my charts as well as my indicators and watch list. And there is the link for it right there. Any words of wisdom for someone that's been getting up on trading, been doing this for a year, and have yet to be profitable? I mean, I've lost $56,000 in 2 days, and I've came back over the course of 10 years and have changed my life. So, I mean, it's just don't give up. Just don't give up. If you're doing something wrong, you're doing something wrong consistently. So it's time to stop and reevaluate and figure out what's going on. And like you have to collect data in order to do that. You have to have a trading log that collects hard data so you can see it without emotion. Because when you're not collecting data, you're just looking at it and saying, "Oh, I keep getting screwed by the algos. I keep getting screwed by, news events or Corona." And it's not true. So you have to be honest with yourself. You have to collect hard data via a trading log and be very accurate in trading log, and go from there. But I promise you, anyone can do this. You just have to be honest with yourself, and you have to identify what the problem is. Anybody can do it. I promise you. Just keep it up. Just don't stop. The only time the market truly wins is if you stop trading. What's up, Andre? Good Friday to you as well. That's what people don't understand. This online community, what people don't understand. It's like all these jibber jabber online influencers can try to shove this dream of, being a sexy Jordan Belfort trader, and it's all nonsense. So whenever you post a loss, it's like, oh, duh. It's like, shut up, dude. It's like, if you want to do this right, you have to realize that this takes hard work, just like any other professional endeavor. There are dudes on Wall Street that get paid millions of dollars to sit here and do what we're doing. Why? Because it's hard to do it. It's not easy. If it was easy, then everybody would make millions. So it's very difficult. And it takes hard work, and it takes legwork, and it takes discipline and grinding and learning and controlling your emotions and dealing with losses and dealing with wins and all that stuff. Yep. That's why, things are going to, I'm making some changes, Chris, because of that stuff. So making some changes. Yeah, I'm not saying I want to strive to be Jordan Belfort, for sure. For sure. What I'm saying is like, people romanticizing they'll making millions of dollars like that very easily. It's just, that's what I mean by that. Is the stock market a zero-sum game? I mean, I don't. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I don't care who's losing or who's not losing on my trades. All I care about is me and my system and how I play. All right, Qs are starting to come down a touch here. XLF is still beast mode climbing now. V recovery on the financials. Oh, nice, Ashley. Yeah, well done. Well done. Learning from your mistakes. That is how you figure out what's going on. I promise you, the more trades you log with more data, and I don't just mean punching in your numbers. I mean data. Collect data points, and then in your info section, or your notes section, post why you lost, why you won, what you did right, what you did wrong. And eventually you'll have that aha moment. It's like, oh man, I keep buying puts at the top. I'm at the bottom. I keep buying calls at the top. And I'm reading this data point wrong. And it'll happen, I promise. All right, enough jabbing my gums here. That's what we got here. Puts. Just looking around here, I got the September 4,500 puts at 450 each, as XLF is red here at the top, and the Nasdaq continues to fall. What's it want to do? Oh, hold on, I gotta close my windows. Lawnmower guys here. And we're back. Uh, 451 puts and 4,500 SPX. Yeah, bounce at the bottom of range right here would be beautiful. It would. Actually, this video I'm doing this weekend is over the makeup of SPY. It's going to be over the X sectors. It's going to be over what actually makes up the SPY, the weighting of each one, what makes up each individual X's, so you can kind of figure out the correlation between how the market moves, how money flows in and out, how the market interacts with the bonds and stuff like that. So that's going to be the next video. What expiration dates do I use? Anywhere between 3 to 5 day DTE. Today I'm using a 4-day, so September 7th. So Nasdaq's fallen just a touch. The XLF is still hanging out here at the top of its range. SPY is touching the top. No movement though. It's just kind of flipping back. This candle's been flipping back and forth. Red, green, red, green. XLK is buying back up. Little bit of rejection here off the top here. We're at the 8 EMA still on the 3-minute chart. We've got a green or a gray cross here on the squeeze Momo with a bright green candle. Thanks, Timothy. Yeah, that's the name of the game for me. Is less is more. Less is more. I'd rather take more high quality setups than a bunch of mediocre setups. Less is more. How do you get the bonds on your screen like that? I'm assuming that's what the gray bars are. You talking about this? No, this is the volume profile, which is the volume at price. This is a volume at price indicator, which I also have a video on as well. Volume at price indicator tells you what the volume is at each individual price, as opposed to these candles, which tells you volume on time. Bonds are the TLT. This is how I monitor bonds. This is bonds right here. So that red candle got bought up here on SPY. Yep, profitable traders do trade little. And that is the big thing that I just can't seem to get people to realize. Like in this internet age, people want more. They want trade. Why aren't you trading? Trade. I'm like, dude, because I've been doing this for 10 years. I've changed my life with it and I know how to do it. And I know I've learned through the grindstone, through being punched in the face like with this Mike Tyson market for 10 years, that less is more. If you don't have a setup, you don't force it. If there's a day where I could trade 6 times a day, I do it. If there's a day where I don't trade any for 3 or 4 days in a row, I do it. And that's what I'm trying to get y'all to realize. Less is more. It's better for your emotions. It's better for your profits. It's better for everybody. Do I know how to get that on TD8? I don't, unfortunately. Interesting action right here. It's tempting to jump into some puts at the top of this range as the Nasdaq continues to weaken. XLF is coming back down with the bonds starting to climb. I got 450, 460 on the bid ask here. Remind me of my option teacher from a decade ago, same general philosophy. Well, I'll take that as a compliment. You do not find a lot of successful traders out there. I consider myself successful in terms of that. I've done very well and, I've been very happy with my trading. But in terms of successful, I mean like hundreds of millions of dollars type traders, high level traders. Those dudes don't pound day trades 15 times a day. They trade shorter or smaller frequencies than day traders. I think overtrading is probably the number one problem of most traders. Less is more. So SPY's got a little red candle here. We've got a dark green on the squeeze Momo, still have a gray cross. So XLF is coming down as well. VIX is starting to increase. Coming down to that first resistance on the volume node. Gonna show how to set up the volume profile up real quick. Yeah, so if you go to the indicators, type in VP, KV4 coins right here, volume profile is what I use. That's the author right there. It's just green. Some people use the one that indicates sellers and buyers. I don't use it. I like to use just a general volume profile. All I need to know is volume here. I need to know where most of the volume is coming in at. So interesting action. The Nasdaq just bounced hard. The VIX leveled out here. And SPY just bounced and had this nice big green candle, 310,000 on that, which just flipped red. And it had a hammer, but it's selling off here. So VWAP is the volume weighted average price, and all it is takes the the average weighting price of the day and creates a line off of it. And I do have a video on that one as well that I go in depth on actually what the VWAP actually is. It's a great play. It's a great line, especially as the day goes on. You get a strong correlation between resistance and support because you've got the volume weightage, the average price actually plotted as that line. As the day goes on, that day gets less and less manipulated and flatter because you start bringing in more and more data to make an average. And the more data points you have in an average creation, the harder it is for that thing to move because you have more data. So as the day goes on, that line usually spreads out a little bit more in terms of flatness. And yeah, so it's a great line to use. It usually drops down my cross check throughout the later halves of the day if we have bigger moves because it doesn't usually touch it again. On days like today, when it kind of snakes around the VWAP, it's a great Good? All right, cool. Audio's back, I think. Yep. I just had it said as USB not connected. Oh, okay. All right, well, I just had to reconnect it again. You dang tick. So Nasdaq's climbing back up. Options robo. All right, and we're back. Cool. Switching over microphone because apparently my fancy microphone is having some USB problems again, but we're back. Red candle on the Qs and the SPY. How do you reach me for one-on-one consultation? On my Patreon, I do offer a tier 3 uh, tier that does offer 2 one-on-ones per month. And we take about, anywhere from 45. Hey, hold on. Stand by. Red candle here. Stand by. Big red candle on the Nasdaq. XLF has been selling off here. VIX is still climbing. May have already poured a double of makers. That's a way to start a Friday. Don't drink myself, but Nasdaq, big sell off there. XLF. Hey, big buying volume there on the XLF as the bonds have been increasing all morning. VIX is starting to spike. I got 510, 520 on the bid ask right now. There you go. There is the link to the Patreon community if you want to come over and join. Actually, I'll go ahead and say this now. I'm going to do an announcement later on, but I'll go ahead and tell you all is that starting Monday, or actually Tuesday because the market's closed on Monday. Starting Tuesday, All plays will be for Patreoners only. I'll be doing my live call trading for the Patreon community. And yeah, live streaming will be for the Patreon community as well, Monday through Thursday. Now, instead of just Tuesdays, and Thursdays, I'll be changing it where Patreoners will get exclusive access Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday will be for open for everybody. Red candles, double red candles here. VIX still climbing up here. Boom, right there. All right, futures still rolling over here. Nasdaq is starting to fall as well. SPY is starting to come down. Yeah, a couple of red candles coming down right here. VIX spiking 1666, and XLF is falling hard. So nice little oscillations here in the financial sector. Bonds still climbing. Bonds still climbing. Joined the Patreon but couldn't find any videos posted yesterday or Tuesday. Do they post somewhere else? No, up until yesterday, I don't do any video streams with the Patreon. It's just voice stream. But going forward, there will be video. I figured out how to do it, so there will be video streams for just the Patreon as well. Moving forward. XLF is falling hard. Nasdaq getting bought. That little red candle there is getting bought. So Biden is now speaking. So 452.24 coming on down. Little green candle forming on the SPY. The futures are doing the same here. Nasdaq still figuring out right there. Still going to post plays, but they'll be for Patreoners only. All right, coming on down 452.43. This thing is playing back and forth red, green, red, green. All right, so we're right next, smack dab in the middle of the range, 452.91 to 451.55. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you go into the Discord, you go down to the Patreon room, and if you link your Patreon up to the Discord, your Patreon credentials into the Discord, it'll link them all together. It'll automatically do it for you. So you come on in there, and it automatically links it up. So 452.42, and we're just below the ADMA here. VIX is coming on down after climbing. Nasdaq's coming down. Futures still trading flat right here. Yeah, so I guess people listen to Biden right now. There's not really too much action moving. Nothing shaking and baking. What's up, Osby? How you doing? Doing pretty good. How about you? Nice, Chris. Nice iron kind over there. Well, this market, Morgan, it good news is bad news is good news. Or good news is good news, bad news is good news. So it's this particular market. There's a argument for either side of the case, and usually the bullish thesis always wins because bad news is always turning around into, hey, printer's still going to churn now, and good news is obviously good news. So yeah. So this SPY is still hanging out right smack dab in the middle of the range here. Qs are still hanging out here as well, so not really much action. We kind of dropped down, now hanging out. Just be careful if you are taking plays. Talking about increasing corporate tax. Yep, yep. Gotta love that. Gotta love that. No, I didn't. I haven't entered any positions yet. No. $452.35. Not much moving now. Hanging out right here. All right. So the VIX is kind of hovering out to 1655. The Qs are 380.94 and SPY is here. Not much movement. We kind of fell down here ever since I guess everyone's listening to the speech, seeing what he's going to go on here, but not really much action. The bonds are coming back down to the range. XLF, a nice sell off here in the XLF. How do you run profile? It changes a different time frame. So it does change. It is time frame dependent, yes. And if you zoom out and in on different time frames, you will see that thing adjust, and that just takes in different time frames for that particular price level. So if you go to the 1 year, it'll take in that data. If you go to the 6 month, it'll take in that data, and it'll form the supports and resistance that are based on that particular time frame. All right, so let me post the sentiment poll here, get a little action going on because it's kind of slow at the moment. Let's go morning session. We'll put that, what, 1330. 453. There we go. Sentiment poll is posted. How many contracts do you usually buy on time on puts or calls? I don't usually talk about my position sizes. Back in July, I was posting them, and I was going anywhere from 100 to 200 contracts on SPY, anywhere from 15 to 25 contracts on SPX. That's what I was posting. Yep, I mean that was what he, that's just more of what he campaigned on is taxes. He wanted the upper echelon of the country to pay their quote unquote fair share of taxes. I mean that's what he's talking about, and nothing new. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you are new to the channel, like and subscribe to the channel. That helps us grow, reach out for more people, educate more people on how to do this the right way. Nasdaq's turning red. XLK is up. XLF is bouncing off the bottom as the bonds have been falling back into the range here. You have to think about taxes, man, and the uber rich is that they know. I mean, they're any president, doesn't matter who it is, can impart the most aggressive tax rates. It's not going to change anything. They're going to get around it using legal means that they have available to them. They're going to get around it, so it doesn't matter. So what Netflix reported, like I don't know, like thousands of dollars worth of just income instead of millions and millions. It's like deductions, write-offs. They know how to do that. All right, so SPY is coming down 455, 42, 43. Now coming down to the POC 3-minute chart. The 5-minute is bright green candles, dark black crosses here. VIX is still climbing. What else do you do outside of trading for fun? Man, I do a lot of stuff. I do a lot of stuff. I'm a big family guy, so I hang out with my family a lot. I got 3 kids, amazing wife, so I'm doing. They usually keep me pretty busy. I used to be a big golfer, but I don't have time for that anymore. Faith, family, fitness. That's right. I'm big in the church. I'm going for. I'm currently finishing up my master's degree right now. A lot of fitness. I get a lot of enjoyment out of fitness and pushing my body, getting as strong as physically possible. Before I get too old to do so, at least I'm 35. So I have some kayaks. I love kayaking. I love skiing, but being in the south, I don't get to do much. So I have to travel to go skiing. How long have I been flying? 2016. What denomination? Baptist. Food friends. Yeah, there you go. Those are your two. Those are two more F's. So yeah, yeah. I am finishing a master's degree, Christian Ministries. So master's in Christian Ministries. Tomatoes. Yeah, I love me some tomatoes. Y'all know I love my tomato. I do some gardening, of course. That's only a seasonal thing though, for sure. Horizontal dark yellow line for that's the POC on the volume profile. That is the largest distribution of volume on a particular time frame. This particular case is 5 minutes. So here's the 5 minute at 4:52:32. 4:52:34 in the 3 minute. When I hover over each squeeze Momo bar, there's a number tied to it. That's just probably the data points that they use to make those calculations. I would probably assume some sort of moving average. Did you get whacked by Ida? No, I did not. I got whacked by the after effects, the big rain of Ida, but I did not. It didn't hit me in terms of wind or anything. Crap ton of rain though. Crap ton of rain. The floods in Philly. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so SPY's got double green here. Coming up, we got this volume node and volume profile. And we're sticking right there. We rejected off of it here. I'm rejecting. I'm coming down and seeing it hits there. Nice, healthy green candles here coming up to the top of the range. VIX is falling off. Q's climbing. SPY's climbing. Oh, man, that's a big old flood right there. This dude riding a float down the river. Love it. XLK is climbing. XLF is climbing back up. TLT's not really moving much. All right, so we're coming up to the top of this channel now. We're popping through the volume node here at 452.88 here. I'm going to go to the 5 minute and we're popping through here. We've got 452.76. I've got this resistance point of 452.94 right there. We're kind of coming up to it now. We've already rejected it once. We're coming up here to see if we reject that again. I'm gonna have some puts ready to go here in the event that we do reject. If we climb higher and pop through, I'll flip over to calls quickly. But right now, I'm gonna plan on it. If we do reject this, you just gotta be careful here. Everything is looking bullish. Climbing back up here. Nasdaq is climbing. Futures are climbing. VIX is falling off. Great action here on the XLF. We're at our first resistance now, or second resistance, I should say. So we've got our resistance up here. We've got this level right there that it already bounced off of once. It's right at there now. It looks like it's kind of bouncing off of it again. VIX is coming down to their support. That's right. All right, so we're hovering right up here. We're at this resistance line. We got a red candle right here. Nasdaq still climbing. XLF is rolling over. Interesting. So I got 394 and $394 on the bid ask on the puts. I'm looking at the 4500 September puts. All right, XLF is starting to sell off. Slight green here on the VIX. Nasdaq still hovering up this level. The futures are again up here. This SPY is up on this resistance and has rejected now 2 times. You have this red candle coming down. 8 and 21. The 8 still below the 21. Nasdaq has got this candle that's wicking out. VIX is starting to pop back up. Red candle here on the futures, red candle on the Nasdaq now. Futures are set, or XLF is at the bottom now. They're at support, where they've kind of been hanging out here for 4 candles. What's up, Uncle Terry? How you doing? I remember you said you can only join us on Fridays, if I remember right. Well, you're back on Friday. Welcome, welcome. So VIX has a red candle. Now it popped a green. 452.63, rejecting this top of the range. Smart to take puts here. I mean, that's up to you particularly. I'm kind of waiting. I'm waiting for some confirmation here. After we've been chopping back and forth for about an hour now. All right, all right. So I'm gonna step away here for a second just to go grab me a protein shake. I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, I am back. 452.81. So we pop back up this green candle to the top of the range. Kind of sticking right here, right at this resistance. If we reject this resistance again, maybe we'll take a play. XLF is still hanging out at the bottom of their range. If we get a reversal in XLF and that continues to climb, VIX is still hanging out here, especially with the strength in the Nasdaq. We might have a breakout here on SPY. Might break above here and it'll squeeze higher. That's a great explanation, Howard. Yeah. So what Howard just said is that, remember, morning ranges are like rubber bands and hard lines. So get excited when that rubber band gets snapped with volume, not just breaks it or bends it a little bit. And that's the confirmation we usually look for. Confirmation under volume. Yeah, we've had a very profitable week, Isaac. Yeah, 400 that day. Nice, nice. We had a very profitable week. We had one loss and what, 5 wins I think this week. So it's been a good week. Trying to finish this week off on a win. Yeah, you look at resistance levels as rubber bands, not just like hard glass. So if the price increases through it, it bends that rubber band a little bit. But the only way to break that rubber band is if you hit it with a lot of volume, a lot of force. So the volume comes in, blasts through that resistance. All right, now you've got a hammer on that volume, and you've broken that rubber band. And that's the confirmation you're looking for. Volume with confidence will break through resistance. If you just kind of like, meh, like kind of just lackadaisical pops through a top band, all it does is just come right back down with no volume. You got to look for volume for confirmation. Now we have had increasing buying volume into this climb. Now we've got our selling candle and the small buying volume candle here. So I'm looking for a confirmation that we're going to blast above, because if XLF rotates up, we will have a strong bullish action into the morning, and I'm ready for it. I got my calls pulled up right now. I thank Howard. He's the one who said it, but it's a great metaphor for sure. I'm in a 5 month call at the moment. Nice. So tech is still on the climb here. It's popping through pretty aggressively. Decently sustained volume. Little decrease here, but nothing that's fallen off a cliff. XLF is still getting beaten down. XLF is still looking weak. Yeah, so if anybody has any questions while we're waiting here, you can throw them at us, have a good discussion. I know yesterday we had some fantastic discussion. So I'm sure a lot of people are out there starting through the weekend early. I know I will. Second here we hit 11 o'clock, I'm going to hop off here and pretty much start my long weekend. Yeah, I'll be on the lookout this weekend for the new video coming out. A good explanation, healthy explanation of SPY. A lot of people have asked me, and can you explain what's behind the SPY? To really understand how the market moves, really understand what's in there. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. It'll be in this weekend. Do I ever lose stop loss orders to protect profits? Yeah. Want to step away. I had that OCO set yesterday. I think that's a second or third OCO I've had set in the past few weeks since I've had to step away. Higher highs, higher lows. Yeah, that's what we're forming right now. What kind of fitness am I doing today? I'm doing back day. I'm doing back day. OCO is one cancels the other. That's where you set a limit sell and a stop loss at the same time. You set them once, one order. You set them at the same time. So you have this levels around both of your price. So if it goes up and it hits your limit sell, you take your profits. If it goes down, it hits your stop loss, it sells it out, and it cancels the other order. That's why it's called one cancels the other. Green Ninja Slam. What's up, man? When you're jumping in and out of an SPY quickly, are you placing market orders? Do you stick with limit? I only do limit orders. I don't do market orders ever. Do I use a Peloton? No, I don't. I use a real bike. Real bike. Do you watch XLY and XLC as well as the other sectors? I watch XLY, not XLC though. Never market orders. Especially if you get strong movement, and you're playing SPX. You could get a really bad fill, like a 2 or 3% bad fill. So I do not touch market orders. Road bike, no, I use mountain bike. Do you just work one muscle group per day? I do upper lower split so I can do 6 days a week. I do 6 days a week, but I am doing I do a lot of fitness. I do a lot of cross training intertwined with strength. So usually what my days look like, for back day, I'll do a multiple functions of back strength, and then I'll finish the day out with some sort of functional fitness WOD, as some people call it. So I do every body part twice a week, 6 days a week, and then on the seventh day, I still do active recovery. I'm doing fitness. My goal is to get sweaty every single day. Every single day. I don't take any days off in terms of that. Now on Sundays, it is a rest day, but I do a light fitness. Maybe go for a walk with the wife, or go for a light jog, or go for an easy row. Jump on the bike with the kids, stuff like that. I'm always doing some sort of fitness every day. Keep that heart moving every day. What target price for the year do I have for SPY? Man, I don't really I don't really talk too much about that. To me, it's not that big. It's not important to me. Uh, However, I will say that we're probably going to have more bullish action until monetary policy changes. This bull market will continue until monetary policy changes. Yeah, if you use a market order, you're just asking to get it. Yeah, you are. Are you going to post your arm day? Yeah. In fact, I'll post it today. I promise. When we sign off here, I'll go down there and post it. But the good arm workout that I use requires cables, so you have to have access to a cable machine to do it. But I still have a good arm day, even if you don't. But if you really want to blast them, do I ever use a kettlebell? Yes, I do. I've got a 30-pound, 50-pound, or a half pood, 1 pood, 1.5 pood, 2 pood kettlebells. The further outside the money do you go, does that increase or decrease your risk? That'll increase your risk. The further out money you go, the more risk that you bring on because the chances of you not going in the money are greater. All right, red candle, but we're still hugging the top of this range. The beatings will continue until morale improves. That's right. Are you in the military? Love it. Married. Nice. All right, red candles. Hold on a second. XLF is falling further. Just broke session lows. Nasdaq is climbing still though. XLK with the weakness in the financial sector here, man. Tech is the only thing holding this thing up. XLV is rolling over. E is down. Bonds are starting to increase. The tech is the only thing holding this up. I'd say you do OTM plays on long buys. Yep, 3 months out. Yeah, I mean I've done that before, of course. My bread and butter was 3 week plays, 3 week DTEs. Man, those played big. In fact, I may start incorporating those more and more into my strategy as we go forth. Those are big, man. Those played good. Opinions on leaps. Yeah, I just told you. Yeah, I just talked about it. It's been considering since I still go to college, which takes up most of my time. Yeah, so if you are going to use leaps, obviously you have to have a good technical analysis and good volume analysis to figure out when the market is going to pivot. So it all depends on your strike points. So SPY, that red candle got bought up as we have some red on the Qs coming on. XLK, XLF is down. Dr. Stock, you're gone. Thanks. Call of Duty is in here too. Nice. Sorry, I'm just deleting members. Thanks, Casey. Appreciate it. Those are gone. So XLF is hugging the bottom. SPY is still hanging out at the top here. I bought some longer dated options on bank and oil companies. Yeah, it's rough right now. Sorry about that. When you did 3 week DTEs, about how far outside the money do you normally go? I always did volume analysis based on price action and figured out based on trends with the price where would it actually climb in the event that it did go up. So, for example, when I did my Amazon leaps, uh, the price was Amazon was currently around 3,100. I did 4 different expirations. I did a 4,000, like a 3,800, 35, and a 3,300 over April, like March, and or April, February, January, and December, and they were anywhere from 3 week up to 6 month leaps. So I did, that was one strategy, is do multiple contracts on one. Apple, for example, it was around the lower 120s, and I think I remember did a 133 strike, so about a $13 over the course of 6 months. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you sending me that. I know a lot of people are messaging about people sending them server invites. And please, just as a reminder, if anyone's sending you DMs for server invites, please let me know so I could get them out of here. I don't want anybody soliciting you in your DMs, please. Do you have a good video on how to analyze market direction for leaps? I don't have one particularly for leaps. Good question, though. I know a lot of people like those. In fact, I'll put it on my list now. And the whole name of the game for leaps is timing. 100% of the name of the game for leaps is timing. You have to know when your particular stock, whatever you're going to buy leaps on, whatever you're going to do, you have to look at the oscillations. Obviously, it's notwithstanding of news. You don't know when a bad news piece is going to come out and smoke your position. You can't account for that unless you know something on the radar, which you don't play. If I have an earnings report coming up and that's going to be right in the middle of my leap or the beginning of leap, I'm not going to touch it. I personally don't play news events. There's too many factors going in there. Good news is bad news. What's considered bad news? What's considered good news? Are you going to have a sell the news? Are you going to have a gamma squeeze? All that kind of. Are you going to have an IV crush? There's too many variables playing against you with news events. I do not play news events. So when I have a position coming up that I want to take a leap on, it's all about your timing. If you think you're in the middle of an oscillation to the downside, you don't want to buy calls. Wait for the bottom to round out and then buy your calls. Even if you are wrong by a day or two, you want to maximize your profits, minimize your downside. That's the thing with leaps. Even if you're wrong by a day or two, it's not that big a deal. You only be down 3, 4, 5%, no big deal. If that, you just got to be right, as close as you can to being right. You're not going to be perfect all the time. Thoughts on Drake's new album? I know nothing about it. I don't listen to Drake. The only person we want to slide in our DMs is OM. That's right. It goes down in the DMs. All right, so we have a lot of wicks. This does look like my pen just bounced across the entire room. This does look like a little top here with all these wicks to the upside. This looks no bueno. XLF is down, but a little bit of a bounce. XLY is trading flat. VIX is starting to spike. Oh, thanks, James. I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, you're very much welcome. And welcome to the community, and thanks for hanging out for sure. Have you ever heard of a Tab Benoit guitar solo? No, I have not. So the 3-minute chart here, we got this little weakness, but it's still staying above the 34. It's still staying above the POC, and we're hovering right on this resistance. See this line right here? This is where we've kind of been hanging out here. We've been glued to it since 11 o'clock Eastern. VIX is starting to increase. XLF is still at the bottom. It's got this little increasing action here, though. Bonds have been flat as a board. Well, the POC does adjust, so it might did just adjust a few cents. It does adjust based on the volume at a certain price. So on my volume profile, there's a POC and there's one bar above it and below it. What are those bars? I don't know that. My POC only has, or my volume profile only has one. All right, SPY looking a little heavy at the moment. VIX is going up. XLF is coming back down, rejecting the 21. Nasdaq is starting to roll just a touch, and futures are coming down just a touch too. On the 4,500 puts, I got 420 on the bid, or on the ask, and 410 on the bid. XLK does have little red candles here. Still staying up, though. All right, see these little dumps here are on weaker volume. Qs are coming back down though. XLK, XLF. Little what, 15-cent move here. These premiums barely moved. That only dropped. That only went from 410 to 430. So that's only a 20-cent move here on this on the premiums. XLF dumped down to their range. So look, XLF has got supported now 4 times, and we're kind of hovering here. If XLF drops and dumps, it's going to take SPY with it. The only thing holding it up now right now is tech. Tech. All right, so SPY is still hanging out top of this range. A little bit of weakness here. XLI is down. F is still hanging out at the bottom of their channel. Yeah, I'd love to see a little gamma squeeze, man. You got the gamma squeeze, man. This will blast up. We'll get that action into the long weekend. What is a gamma squeeze? Great question. Sorry, I'm watching this market. Okay, what is a gamma squeeze? Let me watch this red and I'll go over here exactly what is a gamma squeeze. A little bit of bearish action here. All right, gamma squeeze. So if you've got long positions, you've got a big hitter, you got a hedge fund who starts selling those calls because you've got the sellers, you've got the buyers. The selling calls are they're actually collecting the premium. The buyers are actually, actually us, the retail people that are buying these calls. We are fighting premium, so we have premium decay. They're collecting premium. So when you've got a someone who is selling these calls, which is a short position, you sell those calls thinking that the market's going to go down and you're going to collect those premiums. So if they sell these calls and the market continues to go up, the market continues to go up a little bit, grind higher, higher, and higher, their position continues to lose money. They have a more of a loss position. So they're starting to face more of a loss. In order to hedge against that, they have to actually buy stock. So when they short those calls, they have to buy the stock to cover their loss position, which creates an influx of buying. The more that happens, the more aggressive the buying happens, and the more the stock price rises. Because when you have a big institutional influx of stock buying, of in the case SPY, the stock price goes up. Influx in buying, stock price goes up. That's called a gamma squeeze. The more, and that's the price grinds higher and higher. Those short positions become less and less valuable. They start losing more money. They got to buy more stock. The higher the price goes, they buy more stock to cover that loss. And now you've got a huge influx. Bam, big buying volume comes in. SPY squeezes higher. So it's good to know about this stuff. Nice, good put, good put. SPX put at 4, close at 450. There you go. All right, so we have a little bearish action here. Nice. You did a little range play. Learned it from me. Awesome stuff. We all learn together, man. We learn together as a community. XLF just blew out the bottom, finally breaking lows. VIX. Oh, look at the VIX. I missed the VIX. The VIX is starting to climb. Nasdaq is selling off here. SPY is kind of stair stepping down here. All right, we got 80,000 this volume candle so far. Definitely increasing. I do, John. Yep, I do use options flow data. Yep, smack dab in the middle. They aren't moving much. You got to get a decent move to get a move because I'm watching these premiums. That even that entire move only moved these premiums from like 410 to 450, which is a pretty, that's a good profit, but it's not like it's blowing it out the top. All right, it looks like SPY daily sentiment 61 thinks we're going below 452, 37 you think we're going above 453. 38 think chop. A couple of green candles. VIX has got redness. A little bit of red right there. XLF, big candle blew out the bottom. Double little green here coming back up. Overall market sentiment appears to be mostly red with a little bit of green touched in. FANG is mixed. Green, red, green, red, green, red, green. It is lunchtime. It's 11 o'clock Central, 12 o'clock Eastern. A little bit past 11:06 actually. All right, so double green candle, now triple green. SPY is buying right back up. All right, CJ, you have a good weekend. Thanks for hanging out with us. All right, so what, 11 o'clock since 11 Eastern for the past hour. We've been in this 452.49 to 452.50, I'm sorry, up until 453.05. So this little 55-cent range we've been chopping in. All right, y'all. It is 11:11 Central, 12:11 Eastern. I think that's going to do it for me. It is lunch hour here. I'll consider jumping back on this afternoon if I see some volume come back to the market. We'll do another afternoon series like we did yesterday. But that'll be volume contingent. I'm not going to sit here and bore y'all to death with my gum blasting. So we'll see if that comes back online. Anyway, just to reiterate on our announcement from this morning, moving forward, play calling will be for Patreons only. So if you come in there, and the Discord there, they'll be centered around the Patreon community, in an effort to really focus on the serious people and cut out the crap and the distractions from the normal community. So look out for the video I got coming on this weekend, the X video. That's going to be based on the X going to give it to you on the X that's going to make up the SPY. So we're really going over each individual sector, what actually encompasses each of the X's as well as the entire SPY in its entirety. I'll throw a little verbiage in there about the VIX as well as the bonds, get a full overview on how I mix things up here. RP, RIP, DMX, that's right. Little 90s action for you. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. It's been a great week. I think we had 5 or 6 wins and 1 loss, so it's been a great week. Just shy of my weekly goal. Didn't quite hit it, but just shy of it. I'll take it regardless. Didn't lose money, and that's the overall name of the game. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. If I don't see you this weekend, I will see you Tuesday. Remember the long weekend. We got 3-day weekend this weekend, so I will see you Tuesday if I'm not back up. If not, maybe this weekend. Maybe this afternoon. We'll see. I appreciate it. Thanks all for being here. If you have any questions, shoot them at me. I'll see you.